Well, I deeply, deeply appreciate this award. I must confess, though, that I'm feeling the pains of the imposter syndrome. Frankly, I really find it inconceivable, and I am incredulous that I'm being recognized for supporting the likes of Stacey Doré, Veronica Lewis, so many of my wonderful colleagues, Olivia Adendorf and others. I say that because each of them is brilliant, each of them possesses unassailable integrity, each of them is devoutly committed to the causes of their clients, and each of them is unfailingly devoted to their families and to their communities. Everything they touch, and I've observed this for decades, they make better. They have made me far better, and it has been my singular privilege to count them as colleagues, partners, and friends. So to each of you, thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank my wife, Carolyn, who many of you all know, and my son, Chris, for being here tonight. I will say to each of them, in different ways, have made me understand equity, equality of opportunity, and inclusion in ways that I never could have without them. So thank you for being here. If I might, though, I'd also like to acknowledge and thank a few other people who aren't here tonight, and they are the men who really made the difference in our profession. Jim Coleman. Jim Coleman in 1976 hired Judge Barbara Lynn in what was a inflection point in the Dallas bar. How that could be when Judge Barbara Lynn is perhaps the best lawyer of our time, graduated #1 class by leaps and bounds, I think is unfathomable to any of us. But we should thank people like Jim Coleman for what he did in hiring dozens and dozens of enormously talented women and opened up the profession in Dallas, Texas to talented and gifted women. To Harry Reesner, my mentor, who you just saw, who Harry, by the mid-70s and the early 80s, had assembled a dazzling array of gifted and talented women professionals who I chose to go work with. Those are the people who we are deeply in their debt. And as for the balance of you who have kindly attended tonight, with your indulgence, I'd like to just leave you with this one thought. To the men who are gathered here, I only ask that you redouble your efforts, not just to mentor, but to truly sponsor those so very talented women who I know are doubtlessly in your ranks. As Justice Ginsburg so aptly put it, women ask no favor for their sex. They only ask that we, their brethren, take our feet off their necks. Sometimes that means large things. Sometimes that means small things. Sometimes it means recognizing that when women are having families is also when they're emerging as leaders in their profession. Sometimes that just means placing them in positions and responsibilities in which they will truly succeed. Sometimes it means giving them that little nudge, that helping hand, when, just like us, they need it most. I will assure you that it will make you and all of us better. To the women here, particularly the women who do the hiring, I encourage you to do even more to look out for one another. That means making women responsible for your matters. That means making women responsible for your client relationships. That means doing for them what someone might have done or you wish they had done for you. And finally, to all of us as members of the legal profession, and I use that word profession in the truest sense of the word, I encourage you to continue to lead in this imperative. With each passing year, I am ever more proud that I'm a lawyer. As a profession, we have been at the vanguard of much of what has made our society better and more just. We have been at the vanguard of the expanded civil rights. We have been at the vanguard of inclusion. We have been at the vanguard of social progress and justice. I only encourage you, in this time of seeming retreat, that we redouble our efforts and our commitment not only to the advancement of women in our profession, but to providing opportunity and in our inalienable rights to all. So again, thank you very much.